how this thing can be fed. So we need to kind of also not just one parameter, we also need to kind of figure out multiple other parameters like this ones and all to come out to a specific conclusion at the end. Is it a true positive or is it a false? But not just depending on one parameter check. Okay, we need to kind of do all the different kind of checks over here. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing is like the ASN. Okay, ASN is something kind of a number which is kind of allocated to different internet service provider. So maybe let's say all the IP address of Microsoft has a specific ASN value, like let's say 4345. Okay, all the IP address, and let's say you got an IP address like 3.4.55, and the ASN value of that is coming out to be something else. Okay, then you can figure out, okay, this is something like out of trend, and maybe this is something being utilized by the attacker to kind of initiate domain shadowing attack. Okay, and the last thing, the last way by which you can also do that is this company likely to get their DNS server compromised. Okay, so let's say you are working for a client, and let's say you know that okay, that client has a very bad security posture, for an example. So you can quickly add a confidence that okay, this company, let's say the company is ABC, doesn't have good security posture. So maybe there's a high chance that attacker got hold of their internal DNS servers. Okay, so we need to kind of detect the domain shadowing attack not just on one parameter, but we need to kind of at least like the thing I discussed over here are like let's say 5 different kind of 6 different kind of parameters. So we need to kind of write a script or with some kind of tuning of alert which actually checks all these 6 parameters and then finally come to final conclusion that it's a true positive with a confidence value, let's say 90% confidence value, or a false positive with let's say 80% confidence value. And this is how the things will kind of work out. Okay, so these are the ways by which so we kind of understood what domain shadowing attack is, what is the objective of that, and what are the capabilities that the attacker needs to kind of implement this attack, and what are the benefits out of that which the attacker can reap out. And now what we have also seen how we can kind of detect this kind of domain shadowing attack. So these things are not like kind of possible to kind of showcase in a lab environment, but this is one of the things which is on the rise, and also it is very difficult to kind of detect. The only reason why I picked this DNS domain shadowing attack, one of the core reason is that this one. Okay, so I have personally seen that a lot of alerts which are like kind of a true positive get closed by the security professional just because the IP address is pointing out to, let's say, Microsoft or Google websites, okay, or Google servers. So this is actually not the case. We also need to kind of look at different other parameters and then figure out what's our final conclusion over here. Okay, so that's all about the domain shadowing attack. And the good part is now we have kind of ended our discussion for the DNS part. I won't be going much more deep dive because we have already invested almost 3 to 4 class. I think at least 3 class on DNS. Okay, so now let me just quickly see what's the next topic. Okay, and we will kind of try to kind of start that part. And mostly I believe it should be the interesting one, which is the HTTP protocol. And there will be a lot of things, lot of like demo labs that we'll try to kind of achieve over here. So let me just quickly see what's our next topic. So let me just quickly go to my notes. Okay. Yep. So HTTP protocols. Now we are almost, I think, almost towards the end of our network fundamentals and network forensic discussions, the topmost ones, the protocol discussion. And once this HTTP and HTTPS are done, what we will be kind of doing is then we will be kind of solving some of the CTF challenges, and then we'll looking at the email part, doing some analysis of email. And thing is that email part, to be honest, nowadays that was a trend like I'll say 4 to 5 years back. there we were kind of doing some email analysis, knowing okay from where the email came and all. But nowadays those trends are like very lower. We don't kind of do those kind of email analysis, figuring out what's the path the email has taken. We just figure out okay, are that email phishing or not, utilizing just maybe the sender address and different other parameters. But we need to kind of have a note of that, how the email looks like, how the email servers are set up. So that we will set up. So those are things upcoming part. And now let's so once I'm just waiting for this HTTP and HTTPS to complete, then we'll kind of at least we'll try to solve 2 to 3 CTS based on network forensics and get more better in kind of handling any kind of network forensic attacks. Okay, I'm just waiting for this to complete. So let's start with the HTTP part. And before kind of jumping to the HTTP part, I will just quickly take a 2 minutes break. Quickly grab some water, and then we'll continue the HTTP sessions. Okay. Okay, guys. Now let's resume our discussion on HTTP, and feel free to guys to interrupt me if you have any questions for the last topic that we have discussed. Okay. Okay. So now let's start with the HTTP part, and the first thing that we will be kind of understanding is a vague thing, which is web servers. Okay. So anything that deals with HTTP and HTTPS will normally be there will be a web servers running. Okay. Web server are nothing but like servers which actually kind of uh, uh, give us the website content. So for an example, if we visit facebook.com, so it is basically we are our computer is trying to connect with the web servers in background of facebook.com, and from there we are getting the content of the data. Okay, that is kind of presented in our browser. So this is all just the functionality of the web server. So at a high level, what is web server? So at a high level, web server is nothing but a file sharing a file sharing device that uses HTTP protocol. Okay, so it is just a server that help us into do file sharing. Either we can kind of, let's say we can kind of fetch the content of Facebook website, or we can, let's say when we post certain data, we can upload our photos, videos and all to facebook.com. So that server just basically act as a file sharing servers. Okay, but the file sharing is happening over HTTP protocol, or let's say HTTPS protocol, for example. Okay, so that's all what web server is all about. Okay, now the few things is that how the web pages are created in the web server. The web pages are created in web server using multiple different kind of languages, like markup language like HTTP, HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. So for an example, if I go over here and let's say go over here and okay, it's starting. Yeah, so it's starting now, and the thing is that okay. So now what I'll do is that just let's say google.com for example. Okay, So what it will do is that what happens is that we are just trying to reach out to the web server, and now you guys know that okay how it is doing